It's about gender. So it'll be very divisive immediately, and it'll hook people who are clearly addicted to slurping on that content because it triggers them. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll start the video there.
No! Stop that! Stop getting me with these edits! Son of a bitch!
They didn't like the edits the last time, though. There was like 4 or 5 sections that had just been cut out.
Oh, I love it, though. It's so funny.
In my defense, I don't want...
No, don't need to defend yourself. Very valid reasons. Very valid reasons.
Those jokes are a bit interesting, Jack. I don't know.
No, the worst thing is too, someone who's actually genuinely going to take that sort of banter seriously is they're going to think like, oh, I bet they were saying something racist or sexist.
Yeah.
Like, no, we were just going a bit too far with like making a joke about being a bad parent. Like it's.
That's all we'll say about it.
Yeah, that's all we'll say.
We'll make sure they don't know what else we had to say about bad parents.
Because as parents ourselves, obviously, we have that authority to dictate whether or not someone is a good or bad parent.
Absolutely. I have it on good authority that I am a terrible parent to my non-existent children.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm as good at parenting as I am dressing appropriately, because I'm like, it's just dawned on me now that I'm wearing this jacket, but I'm wearing this singlet with this necklace that
What was the...
I look like I'm ready to surf, but then I'm also ready to hit the towns of Tokyo. Whoa.
I'm getting... yeah, Tokyo of all places.
Fashionable. What?
I've got many questions. I'm just saying, what was the inspo for this? But
the
also...
inspiration was, oh crap, I've got to head to Marky's place to start this podcast, and I've just showered, and I don't have any actual what was I gonna wear? So I pulled my hand. I put my hand into my washing basket.
Dunked someone in the toilet. Yeah.
Found a kid nearby, dunked him in the toilet. Went, loser.
Yeah.
Then I went back
Give me
home.
your lunch money.
Yeah. Took his lunch money. That's how I afforded my coffee earlier. But then I just reached into my laundry basket of clean clothes that I hadn't put away yet, and was like, this, huzzah! Fashion
got a
makeover
pen.
transition, Sailor Moon style.
I got an apple.
Yeah.
Apple. Yes, it looked like.
that's a throwback. Oh my gosh.
Pineapple, apple pen.
Apple pen.
Yeah.
That always infuriated me that he never said pineapple, or something.
I think he said pineapple. I think you're just.
He says apple pen.
Yeah, and then
Pineapple.
I have a pen. I have pineapple.
No, it's not pineapple. It's just an apple.
It is?
Yes. That's the whole thing about it. He doesn't. He says apple pen, but it should be pineapple.
Why does he say pineapple? God damn it! Where is the pineapple?
If it's gonna be pineapple, then it should be pineapple. It doesn't make sense.
I'm just gonna Google it real quickly. Pineapple pen.
Oh no, am I about to be Mandela affected?
I think you're being Mandela affected.
Oh no.
But wait. It says here, pen, pineapple, apple pen, challenge versus Pico Taro. Who the hell is Pico Taro?
What?
Wait. Official video, PPAP.
Okay.
Is he just like, everything's just air quotes. There's not even, he doesn't have anything on screen. He's literally just miming. All of it is just miming. There's nothing there. He's literally miming the whole time.
No, he had. No.
Is he?
No, you watched that video, but he had an apple and a pen, did it?
I don't think he had anything. I think the pen and pineapple were the friends that we made along the way, Jack.
No, he put the apple in the pen. I remember this. I have an apple. I have a pen.
He doesn't have anything, Jack.
Oh, apple pen.
He doesn't have anything. Wait. We're not going to get copyright struck for this. There's nothing. He doesn't have anything. There's no pen. There's no pineapple. There's nothing. There's not even a pen. He is miming a pen. There's nothing. This has 800 million views. This is the video. There was never anything to begin with. This is breaking me. What are we doing?
He had an apple.
Did he have an apple?
Yeah, he had an apple. And he had a pen.
Pen, pineapple, mental.
This is bull. He's messing with me.
10 mind-blowing examples of the Mandela effect. He never had a pen or a pineapple.
This is gonna be the newest conspiracy theory. Oh, sorry, I spat all over the microphone.
Conspiracy theory.
Oh,
Princess.
conspiracy. Oh, the princess conspiracy. The apple conspiracy.
Wait. There was never a pineapple.
Man, this isn't right. This isn't right.
Oh my god, there never was.
No, there was.
There never was.
No. You show me a freaking Google Images result here.
Holy shit, there was never. I thought there was at least an apple. What?
We haven't even read a story yet. You're already doing this to me.
I can't believe that. That's crazy.
This is wrong. This isn't the right reality. I'm in the wrong reality.
Did anyone else see a pen and a pineapple when you think of the video?
Please tell me you did.
Sorry, I was going to continue my train of thought, but that has derailed me so hard. I was going to say you look like Ken from the Barbie movie. That, because he's got the puffer jacket in the I'm Just Ken sequence.
Yeah. I'm an
just
ignorant
Jack.
little misogyny boy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like me, for real.
He's just like me for real. Sublime!
And I was going to say, you look like someone that's about to walk out into the WWE and just like rip the jacket off, the puffer jacket, yeah.
It's time to touch another man's body and get sweaty and oily together while
Hell
making
yeah.
grunting noises like this.
Yummy. Don't make me look at it again like last time. Christ. Oh, he's really getting into it. Wait, I don't remember that's how the pen pineapple went.
That's wrestling, yeah. Oh yeah, that's the
real
sequel
wrestling.
song. The sequel pen pineapple song. Pen
Okay.
apple pen.
Oh,
shut
Jesus
the
Christ.
stupid. I'm done with this. I'm done with this conspiracy theory.
Start it again.
Redo the episode. Hi, this is going to start here officially.
Wow, that's so crazy. What?
No,
What could he have cut?
No, that deserves to stay in. That deserves to be exposed. That this world isn't the same. Clearly, something has happened. Someone's twisted reality, like an episode of Doctor Who, and we no longer have apple pen man dancing with an apple and a pen.
I swear to God.
He had an apple and a pen. He did.
He put a pen in an apple.
He did.
I remember him doing that.
He puts it there. He puts the apple in the pen. And the whole thing is like, pen apple? No. Apple pen. You know, that's the whole that's the whole joke of it.
It never
I'm not
existed.
insane.
What year was that? What year did he
too
do
worked
the
up
pen
from this man.
apple pen? Dude, I can't deal with Mandela effect.
I can't deal with man.
Ridiculous. Okay. We've done our rants for today, guys.
Let's read some freaking stories.
Let's do the heckin' Reddit stories. Let's go.
Screw you, apple pen.
Okay. The first one by Geekbag, titled, "Am I the asshole here for dumping my girlfriend because she has an enormous pile of debt?" And I'm not talking just a few thousand. We're talking like $200,000. I've always been fairly financially savvy. No vehicle payments, no credit card debt, student loans were paid off years ago. I own my own business, and I enjoy the stress-free financial freedom that I have. I'm 49. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Sorry for your loss.
I'm in a relationship with a female with 5 kids. Only 2 live at home, though. Earn 6 figures a year, but I just found out that she also has 6 figures of student loan debt. Somewhere around $50,000 in credit card debt, medical bills, $700 vehicle payment, always overdrawn in her checking, but still gets nails, lashes, and hair done weekly, yada yada. Dude, Caleb Hammer would love to have this woman on. He'd just be like yelling at her across the table, like, "Are you stupid? You can't afford that."
I swear that guy literally, like, they get paid to be on that show, obviously. But
I think, yeah, a little bit.
The payment is for him to just yell at them. It's not to actually give them financial help. It's just to embarrass them.
Just to slap them down.
Yeah.
No, he's also like paid for heaps of people's stuff as well. To like,
Oh, yeah.
if he feels like they're serious about changing, he
Yeah.
will give them like big sums of money to be like, "This, I feel like you can change for the better with this money."
Oh, there you go. What a way
Yeah.
to justify yourself being verbally abusive to people. Like, hey, I'm allowed to verbally abuse you now because I'm
Hey.
gonna give you money, maybe.
They know what's coming. They know what's happening on the show as well, though.
True, true,
They
yeah.
know what they're signing up for.
Yeah, yeah.
It's only the very early versions of the show where people didn't really know what was going on, and neither did he. That he's like,
Right.
yeah, I feel bad about that. Yeah. Anyway, I've worked hard to get where I'm at and can't stand the thought of marrying someone in this kind of financial shape. I do love her, but the stress that would go along with it all just isn't worth it to me. Edits, I'm from small town USA. That's a place?
Yeah. I hate that. I hate that so much.
I'm from big town Australia. And I was today
I'm
years
from a
old.
small island called Earth.
We're little heckin' bins down here, guys. And I was today years old when I discovered via the replies that the word female was disrespectful and offensive. 2 eye roll emojis.
Look, he's 49. I kind of don't blame him for having this sort of like, oh, Jesus Christ, people, that's not even the issue here.
I'm from small town USA. It doesn't say a small town in USA.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
I'm from small town USA.
He thinks that because he's in America, that the idea that the word female is considered a bit of a misogynistic term online, he thinks that's that's some foreigner jargon. I'm not familiar with that.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt in this one. I'm gonna be like, maybe he didn't realize.
Yeah, look,
He watched too many podcasts today.
yeah, so wait, that's the whole story so far?
That's it. That's the whole story.
So
That's it.
is
He's
she
just saying
struggling to pay the debt because she apparently has a 6-figure income herself?
she has a 6-figure income, but she has 6 figures of student loan debt, so $200,000 of
Yeah.
student loan debt. Or
Yeah.
enormous. It's $200,000 in total.
Yeah.
That includes student loan debt, $50,000 in credit card debt, medical bills, $700 monthly vehicle payment, always overdrawn in her checking account. So
Jeez, yeah,
her
okay.
checking account is getting overdraw and late fees,
Yep.
but she still manages to spend money on nails, lashes, and gets her hair done weekly.
Yeah. See,
So she is just existing.
yeah, but then my question is, has he been told he has to put his share into paying her off?
No.
Yeah.
But when you marry someone, you do take on their debt, whether you like it or not. Like
Oh,
that-
really? Like it's whether
that
you
does
like this out or
happen.
not?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, see, that's where I'm starting to understand more.
Well,
his
you're
side of
literally
things.
tying your life to them, and finances will come along with that.
Gotcha.
I mean, obviously, like, maybe student loan debt, that's different. But when it comes to like credit card debt as well, you
Yeah.
kind of start combining finances. A lot of people will come and say, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, buddy. You can
Yeah.
have like prenups in situations like this." And
Oh, yeah, but prenups
doesn't
are-
really mean it was debt incurred beforehand. You don't exactly get it tied to you.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's incredibly messy. And everyone here in the comments is pretty much saying, not the asshole. Well, this one, Long Jump Many, says, not the asshole. This is not an, oh, I had a setback debt. This is a, I don't take responsibility for my actions level of debt. This is, I need to marry a rich guy debt. Seems like you fit the job description. Sorry you feel guilty, but the disparity on financial outlook and responsibilities alone would doom this relationship from the very beginning. And edit with the knowledge that the girlfriend is a widow. There are circumstances where they could have incurred considerable medical debt, which, if true, would drastically alter my opinion of the financial situation.
That's a good point.
This would have been information OP should have included up front. So OP, since you painted a pretty bad picture, I'm of the opinion everyone sucks here.
Interesting.
There's always more to the story.
Yeah.
As we can see with posts like this, that's what they started off with. So it's not really, maybe it's an everyone sucks here once you get a bit more information out of OP
Yeah.
to be like, hey, you're misrepresenting the facts.
I also kind of wonder the idea that, look, even let's say it is a case where turns out
They just posted 8 hours ago in r/alcoholism. Say, just join this group today. Today is day 1 of sobriety. I realized that I drink just out of boredom to ease anxiety and stress. I'm dreading trying to get to sleep tonight without a few drinks. Oh, man.
look, hey, if anything, that's proof that there's someone who's trying to fix themselves.
Yes.
So I don't think it's fair to really shame them about that. But like, okay, yeah, part of me is kind of like, Okay, yes, that is actually a valid reason then to sort of break up with someone you don't want to. Oh my god, what is? Oh, what's going on?
R/Gen X. He
Oh
says,
no.
just last week I told my financially struggling parents who were in their 70s to look into a reverse mortgage on their home so that they can live financially stress-free for the rest of their lives. That means more to me than inheriting their house when they pass. Bro's going through it. He's going through
He's
it.
like everyone around him is financially incompetent.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's just like so many replies from him where he's just doing like emojis, like the 100 emojis
Oh wow.
to people. You're telling
Okay,
me
how does he not know that the whole term female being used online yet he uses 100 emojis?
so she isn't female? Haha, that's clown world for you. Wait, what's a single comment thread? That's clown world for you.
Oh, God.
He says, you're telling me. Can't believe the number of clowns hounding me about it. That's the pansies for you. You know who's real and not in fantasy world.
We're just digging through this person's like internet history at this point.
I'm just reading what he has to say. Okay, he's just fighting with people. He's just fighting so many people in the comments. So, what's this? Someone asked for more of a breakdown. Nobody who is overdrawn all the time gets to borrow that kind of money. $200,000 in what kind of debt? Maybe she owes a lawyer for getting to keep her children. No credit card company is loaning that kind of unsecured money to a bad risk. When you say six figures, do you mean low, medium, or high? It says 120K approximately, $100,000 or more in student loans, the rest on credit cards and vehicle. And then someone replies to OP, if she has money issues and you really care about her, voice your concerns. If you have tried that or you don't want to help her, just leave her to find someone else. She will get over you. You can find someone whose life aligns with your priorities.
I do love that subtle way of both giving him what he clearly wants while also pointing out the fact that he's kind of the loser here because he's clearly making it about like just like he just sees her as an incompetent person, which look, it's one thing to be incompetent, it's another to like she clearly never really learned how to be financially savvy and stuff. Hell, she probably found that to be a very attractive trait about you and is kind of hoping that in that sort of, you know, when you try to hang out with people who are a good influence on you, that's probably what she found attractive about you in the first place. And it's like, you know, maybe has always been a bit subtly afraid to do it, but would actually genuinely appreciate you to help her get out of this. Not with throwing your own money at her exactly. I mean, look, maybe she would enjoy that. Who wouldn't? Yeah, who wouldn't like money being thrown at them? But like, I don't know. It feels like he hasn't bothered any other sort of first steps before this of like, hey.
It doesn't sound like they had a conversation about it.
No, it just sounds like he's found this out and he's immediately assumed that she must be some gold digger despite her literally having a six-figure job herself.
He doesn't say how long he's been in a relationship with her either.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, he also says that he has 2 kids of his own as well, so he's not coming in as a childless man.
Okay.
So, yeah, it doesn't say how long they've been in a relationship together. Just saying, like, I worked hard to get where I am, and I can't stand the thought of marrying someone in this kind of financial shape. So then don't. Either have the conversation and work it out with her, or leave.
Like, are you going to get married this year? I mean, you know, or are you going to get married in maybe 5 years when she's probably paid a lot more of a debt off? You know, like it's. It seems like a very. It seems like this isn't the reason he wants to break up. It seems like he's using this as a way to be like, I'm actually not into her anymore. I think she's ugly now because of XYZ, but I don't want to bring up that as the reason because I look like an asshole.
I'm not going to stretch that. That's a stretch to me. That's a stretch. He says, I do love her, but the stress of that just would go along with it all just isn't worth it to me.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm going to assume that he doesn't hate her and he doesn't have any other reasons to.
No, this has changed my opinion because it makes me think maybe this is just a triggering thing for him because his parents, how they're financially terrible. Maybe this is it's more of a fear response for him than it is I'm not attracted to you anymore. It's like, oh God, no, don't let me be like what my parents ended up being. I don't want that in my retirement, you know. And
he's taken to the alcohol as well.
Yeah.
To soothe it. You know, there's a lot of stress going on in his life, obviously. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Wow, this has been like a real like roller coaster of like swaying thoughts in my head with this story.
Yeah, like I hate him, I love him.
Yeah, I hate him, I love him. I hate him, I respect him. I hate him, I respect him.
What's going on here?
Oh, man. Let us know in the comments what you think.
Yeah. Our opinions don't matter.
Let's don't.
Go. All right, you can have the one that is weirdly worded.
Okay, excellent. Am I the a-hole for not taking my father's minor children into consideration when I sued him for the inheritance he stole from me? It's interesting
See,
that,
see,
yeah.
like that's why I said the weird title. I would like to know you guys' opinion. What the hell is up with my father's minor children?
I'm assuming it
What does
means
that
this, the
mean?
youngest of his children, because clearly OP is a son as, or no, a daughter as well.
I've just never seen it phrased like that.
Okay, let's hear the story.
Mm-hmm.
My mum died when I, 22 female, was 10, and in her will, she left me an inheritance of more than $100,000. My dad was left in charge of it, but after he remarried, him and his wife wanted to start a business together, and they used my mum's
Can
money.
people piss off with that? Like that pisses me off so much that they always want to start a business. It
It's
never
always a
works.
business.
It
It's
never
always
works.
a business.
They never want to buy
Oh.
stocks with it or anything. At least have the decency to buy cryptocurrency. Like, come on.
Buy the Trump coin. That thing's just going up.
Hell yeah.
Yes, so they used the money that mum left me to open it. Dad and I argued about it at the time, but I was 15, and he kept insisting it was good for the whole family and how it was better used to help everyone than being thrown away on random Schmidt when I turned 18. Our relationship was over before I moved out of his house at 18. I had made his and his wife's life miserable for stealing from me, and once I was out of there, I looked into how I could get that money back. I pressed charges against him for stealing from me, and I sued him for the money. I had the support of my entire extended family on my maternal side, and some on my paternal side. But I was told by others on the paternal side to consider my dad's other kids and the devastation that kind of financial upheaval could bring. I ignored those comments. I knew waiting would prevent me from ever getting the money, and I honestly did not care about his family's financial security after being stolen from.
Bows.
Yeah, scorched earth. It was a long ass process, and I needed to return to court a few times because he was just like, I can't pay, I don't have the money anymore. In the end, they were forced to give up the business, and it was sold to pay me the money back, and he had to pay additional out of his paycheck, which made him empty their savings so his wages weren't garnished anymore. By the time I got it back, I was 100% done and past the point where we could ever reconcile. He made me fight so hard for what was legally mine, and he stole money mum left to support his new family. My relationship with some of Dad's side is not so strong anymore, and they think it was wrong that I focused only on what he did and not on the effects for their kids. I mostly don't talk to those family members now, but they asked me how I feel zero guilt for it when the kids are innocent and, or are still my siblings technically, that they would have thought I'd want better for them. I don't feel bad, I never have, but am I the a-hole for not taking the kids into consideration? Is that something I should have done? I feel like that's just really unfair to me and locks me into never being paid back. I don't think I owe those kids that.
I agree. I don't think they owe them kids that.
Yeah?
Yeah. What? That doesn't. It's legally your money. It's not a moral issue at that point. Why? What's the moral issue of OP taking their money back when the moral issue started with them stealing the money from him?
Mm.
You know, you could have easily provided a life for those kids without having to steal money to start a business. And if the business had to be shut down because you took back the original investment into the business, after 3 or 4 years, that business obviously wasn't doing well. It obviously didn't have the intended effect of multiplying that money so much so that it's like, I don't know. Obviously, I'm being unrealistic in this instance, depending on whatever the business was. But, you know, being like, give me 100 grand back out of that business shouldn't be enough to just destroy that business.
Yeah, I mean...
At least I don't think so, but...
Look, if the business was
knows?
successful, then yeah, but also that's the, you know, what happens with business. It's a risk. It's something you don't throw your daughter's literal life promised savings into. You throw your own money into it because that's what you should be risking. But
Yeah.
I think it really stands testament to, you know, them being morally in the right or not when the only defense or argument they have for OP not getting her money back was, think about the kids
Yeah, that's all they had to say.
Literally had nothing to do with this, had no responsibility a part of this, and are literally technically only facing the consequences of your father's actions, who is the
Wait.
one who got them into this mess in the first place. Like, what do you expect?
I don't. Yeah, just ridiculous moving of the goalposts constantly.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just reading some quick comments here that OP responds to. Better dad and his wife repay and stay out of jail for theft and possibly fraud than just repay what was stolen. OP should have also looked into how much interest they would have got if the money had been sensibly invested and sued for that too. If dad and wife's business was doing well, then they could have got a loan from the bank to repay OP. And that they didn't and had to sell up and then find extra money tells me the company wasn't doing well and was just losing the money.
I'm smart. Big brain right here, guys.
Big brain. Biggest brain.
I preempted that one.
Yeah.
I say, hell yeah. They should have been able to be fine getting 100K out of it without sinking the business.
Yeah.
And it's just they're blaming all of their failures, which was obvious, on OP instead.
Yeah, I mean, OP confirms it in the comments here that it wasn't doing well. From what I know, they drained a lot of savings they had trying to get it off the ground after they stole the money to open it in the first place. So not only did they steal this money, like there was already clearly a red flag with this business idea that they were literally stealing their own life savings. Like,
But people, like, they double down and they're like, surely I win this time. Surely the business is going to work this time if I just keep it going. It's the sunk cost fallacy.
oh, it's
People
crazy.
are very easily falling victim to that.
Yeah, yeah, insane.
Yeah, I just think all the family running to the defense of those two assholes, it's more so because they don't want to be in the firing line of two psychos.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't want the anger directed at them. So they're like, always, who's going to be the most reasonable for us to direct our anger at? That it's going to be the least issue for us.
Now, here's also a great suggestion that a dad could have done here. Just asking, did your dad even offer any compromise, like pay you in installments with interest, or offer you stock in the company so that means you'll make more in the future? Like, that sounds like a genius, like a compromise option here to help quell the flames. But apparently, nope, he never offered anything like that. It was meant to be for the new family and less for me, even though he tried to claim it would benefit me as well. Like, there's so many outlets for this father to not come across as the biggest scumbag he is here. And yet he just decided not to take it.
They never intended to pay him back. They intended to bully him in, bully OP her into submission.
Yeah.
In this instance, and you know it didn't work, and that's why he made it a living hell to get through the courts.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I thought you had a point there. Sorry, I was like,
No,
waiting to say something.
Yeah,
that's
no,
all
that's
good.
it. It's like, it's so, it's just, I'm flabbergasted.
I'm simply flattened.
Yeah, I'm flattened like a pancake and
Oh
put
my
some syrup
God.
on me. Oh, boy.
Don't tempt me.
that's for the Patreon, fellas.
Hell
Yeah, next story. That one's pretty clear that OP is the a-hole because she tried to ruin a family.
The asshole for punching a kitten.
Yeah!
Yeah! Kicking a kitten.
Whatever the kid did, it was justified for you doing that.
Am I the asshole here for breaking up with my boyfriend after he chose our supposed future kids over me? Don't even know how someone would do that, but hey, I'm sure it's going to be perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, of course, because he's the guy.
Yes, he is the guy. He is that guy.
He is that
You're
guy. Sorry,
correct.
it's my misogynist Ken energy coming out of that one.
He's
Sorry,
just
folks.
Ken. I, 21 female, have been dating my 22 male. Sorry, boyfriend is supposed to be my boyfriend 22 male because usually my 22 male. I'm a 21-year-old female and a 22-year-old male at the same time.
We are fusioned.
I have that thing that they always fake on TikTok. There's
Oh.
multi-personalities.
Oh, yeah,
Split personality disorder.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So I've been dating my boyfriend for 4 years now. We recently started talking about our future together, and the kids issue came up.
The kid's issue?
The kids issue?
This is a serious issue in this relationship.
For everyone, it's
kids.
always an issue.
Where have they gone? They're not here. They were here a second ago. Where did they go? It's like, honey, we haven't had kids yet.
Had kids.
But they were right here.
But honey, there never was a pen or an apple.
No, I saw a kid here once.
There was never a pineapple either.
Don't you shut you read the
sorry.
freaking story.
He is
Why
known
don't these apples have pens in them?
Get on that stat. He's known for a long time now that I've been iffy about kids. He, on the other hand, insists that he likes kids. Oh, he does he?
Oh, come on.
And would like to have them in the future. This often has caused a massive strain on our relationship, but we've chosen to cross that bridge when we get there.
Oh, come on.
Hey, man. You know, when the kids come, then we'll decide if we like them or not. Yeah. We'll see how I feel after the pregnancy.
Yeah. See how I feel after I find out I'm pregnant and I'm in a state that doesn't allow abortions. We'll wait till then.
We'll just like see the baby come out and I'll decide if I'm walking out of there or not. You know, am I disgusted by this development?
Let me wait till after the emergency C-section, okay? I'm still indecisive.
Let me watch it as well, just to see if I'm on board or not.
Let me just birth the child, raise it till the age of 18, and let it go off into the world as an adult with financial security and stability, and give it well wishes and all my love, and then I'll decide if I want the kid or not.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. That sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
God, you little fairy, you with your Dreamtime story tales and whatnot. Christ. So, this past Saturday, the issue cropped up and the conversation turned into a sore argument. What is that? Does that mean there's good arguments? I don't know. My boyfriend said that living without kids would make his life pointless, and he feels like he would resent me in the future if I made him do that.
Jesus,
Brother,
dude.
Just this is so 21-year-old coded.
Yeah.
Christ.
21-year-old coded.
This is only some shit that early 20-year-olds would say.
Oh, the worst thing is
Anyway.
I'm like reflecting back on me at 21 years old. This is exactly the sort of dramatic level of life I was projecting, where it's like, oh, if it's not this way, then what's the point?
I'm never leaving this relationship. And if you force me to stay in this relationship without being able to bear the fruit of my groin, then I will resent you forever. I have no other options in this world. This is the only relationship I will ever be in. You bastard.
Oh my God.
I listened to his argument and it made sense.
It made sense. Without children, he is nothing. He is a pathetic loser and has no purpose in this world.
Spitting some facts right there.
You're so right about what you think about yourself, my dear boyfriend that I love. You're nothing without kids.
You're nothing. You're trash. After all, we're both young and have some more time before we get there. We are young.
Oh God,
Hey.
no, not that stupid. That guy's an absolute genius artist with his style of music that parodies every generation.
So, naturally, I'd assume that maybe I'd change my mind in the future and we'd be able to have those kids. I shared these sentiments with him, to which I got a positive response. But here is where things got heated. After I told my boyfriend that it would also be kind of unfair to force myself into having kids if I'm not prepared, he suddenly changed the tone and said that he would have no choice but to dump me for someone that would give him kids. Sorry, I just want to throw up after something so disgusting as that. Definitely wasn't just a burp.
Oh my
This came as a surprise because I had assumed that he only wanted kids with me and would also try to view things from my perspective. This is such a hard story to get through. What is wrong with these people?
They're like both stupid. They're both
so
equally
dumb.
stupid.
I assumed he only wanted kids with me, and he'd see it from my perspective. Like, bro, what is going on here?
Just so many of those about how dumb that logic is. Just like, what, you're never gonna break up? What if you suddenly passed away? That he's never gonna
We're
sleep with
not allowed
anyone
to break
again?
up. No,
Yeah.
no. The
You're
eternal
not allowed to
widow.
die. You're gonna keep my corpse in that bed. You're gonna walk me around like a Weekend at Bernie style.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. I felt so bad because I expected the same support that I'd shown him when he told me he would resent me for not having them. What? Why did you show him support when he told you he'd resent you? Why? What's wrong with these people?
I love this story.
Honey, I fucking resent you. I support you in that resentment. Yeah. Oh my, I was born yesterday. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting OP to say. I explained my disappointment, to which he said that he was equally disappointed at me for being selfish. Bro, he fucking hates her. He hates this girlfriend. I got mad and broke up with him then. We haven't talked since then. So am I the asshole here for leaving?
Oh, now morally, he
Bro.
can't date or sleep with anyone else because he was only meant to have babies with her.
Yes.
The one who didn't want to have babies.
And I supported him when he said he resented me.
He called me the lowest piece of scum on the earth. And you
I
know what?
supported
He
it.
has a great
He had a
perspective.
good point. He was speaking facts. Yo.
Oh,
So,
man.
NCJR 591, 11,000 updates. He wants kids and you're iffy. If you have kids, you may be angry with him. And if you don't, he'll resent you for not letting him be a father, which you will respect him for. No.
Oh,
So better to end it now than after you're married. No, just then with an E. Better to end it now. And also then after you're married. Yes.
Yeah.
Whether to or not to have kids is not a we'll cross that bridge when we come to it issue.
It's not.
Well, should we have kids? I don't know. Let's have one then decide. Like, yeah. They need to be on the same page. Or one of them is going to end up resenting the other and the kids if it goes that way. The one that pisses me off when we have stories like, one they want to stay together. One wants kids, one doesn't. And the one wanting kids is like, come on, let's have kids. And the one that doesn't is like, fine. If it's going to keep the relationship together, I'll have the kid. And then you've seen it where the one that wants kids suddenly has the kid and is like, I'm out. I actually don't want the kid
Oh
anymore.
my God.
They've done that.
yes.
There's been so many
Yeah.
stories. They're like, I actually don't want the kid anymore.
Yeah.
And I know that you
they
didn't
wanted
want
the
kids, but
accessory and like the little like, hey, I want to experience this, but they didn't actually want to experience it for more than like a day.
yeah, and then
That
like,
sort of
all right,
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
bored now. You
Yeah.
can keep the kid. I'm ahead and fight out someone that doesn't have a kid.
Oh my God.
I realize it's a bad idea now. Goodbye.
I'm just gonna back out of this.
Sorry about it. I was
Technically, I didn't sign a contract, so I'm not legally obligated.
no, we didn't sign a contract, princess.
I'm sorry, princess, but that's technically not proven to be my seed.
Yeah, I didn't sign the birth certificate. Hell nah. So you're doing the right thing by leaving. I stayed with someone who wanted different things for 6 years, thinking love would be enough. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Kids are a fundamental compatibility issue, and you're smart to recognize that at 21. OP says, I think this sums up my feelings. I've always believed that our love would be enough to overcome such obstacles, and it was sort of a rude awakening for me on how things planned out. Bro, there's so much propaganda that love will overcome obstacles. How many Disney movies was she watching before this
bro.
relationship?
I thought this younger generation was more aware of this sort of thing, especially when Frozen came out as one of like the more major Disney movies for younger audiences. That like the whole story of that is that like, yeah, you can't be like true love isn't the answer to everything. It's something, but it's also not purely just from some hot person you meet at the time. But like, yeah, wow, the fact that some people genuinely still believe this idea that love conquers all. It
No.
doesn't.
Hell no.
Love doesn't work like that. That's not love you're feeling. That's your libido slightly heightened for that period of a moment, and also a slight affectionate, like emotional reaction. Like there's a difference between emotional just reactions of infatuation versus genuine like
We
love.
can stick this out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's like children in general, like it's such an honorable thing to do to raise a child, but it's not some like, fun. I get to have a little cute kid I get to like play with and stuff like that. Like, no, that's a human being that you could potentially be like the savior of humanity or the next Hitler. We
Hell
don't know.
yeah.
Depends on how good of a job you are at being an adult and a parent.
Yeah, don't let them go to art school. That's for sure. If
No,
you
do
want
let
that
them go
option.
so they
I was
don't
gonna
want
say.
to resort to
No,
other
I'm on the
avenues, yeah.
evil side. No, I'm kidding. So, kids or no kids isn't an obstacle to get over. It's almost as big an incompatibility as a straight woman trying to date a gay man.
Oh, that's such a good one. Yes, that's such a great example.
People wanting kids and people who don't want kids should never date. That's an excellent comparison and should be highlighted. It's not really a compromise issue. The amount can be compromised. 1 versus 3, for example, or when before 30 versus after 30. But if one absolutely wants kids and the other one absolutely does not, it's not possible to work out, and continuing just prolongs the inevitable. Yeah.
I was just thinking of that more, and I just thought of the fact that like it's like as if someone is wanting to date someone, but that person is literally like, no, I don't want to
They do
date
furry
you.
art as like a hobby. No, okay.
They want, They want to date someone, but that person's like, no, I'm gonna date this other person, and then that person's just like, you know what? Love will conquer all. Let's just see how it works out. Like, clearly you actually aren't.
Stop stalking me.
Stop
turning up at my house every day.
If we just push through, if we just work through this, eventually she'll want to date me. Like, no, it's the exact same thing where it's like you want kids and I don't. Like, just stop trying to make it work.
If she just pushes her disgust for me to the side, maybe it'll work. Yeah.
I'm currently being literally cucked in my own fantasy of a relationship, but maybe once we get married,
I'm firmly in the cuck chair of my relationship fantasy. Hell yeah. I'm strapped in. Sorry, keep going.
No, that was my point. My point was just like that being a cuckold in someone else's relationship is literally the equivalent of this situation.
Such a fucked way to say it. The cuckold in my relationship is crazy. What the? Oh god. Sorry, is anyone an asshole in this situation though?
I think
because she broke up with him over that. Is she an asshole for breaking up with him over that? I'd say no. I think she's justified.
Yeah, I think her what's the word? Her feelings for what he said in terms of like, I might go, obviously I'm going to go then be with someone who actually can give me kids, and her being offended by the fact that he chose their theoretical kids over her.
Oh yeah, the theoretical kids thing. Well, yeah, the supposed future kids.
Yeah, that's where I think you're an idiot. You are an idiot, but at the same time, that she's the one who decided to break up, but it wasn't like she didn't decide to break up because they were incompatible. She decided to break up because she was hurt by that theory of his.
Yeah.
And like, it's like no else here, but also everyone sucks here. But because like they both
like them, but they're not really assholes.
I think my hate for them is just because of how stupid and naive their opinions are towards kids and
God, I hate these 20-year-olds that have no life experience.
Yes.
These fucking idiots.
How dare they still be young and naive to this world?
God, you're supposed to wake up with all the information preloaded.
Dude.
When are we fixing that?
Yeah, come on. Yeah, you kids got the AIs now in the schools. You should be able to learn this on
and the bit bops and whatnot.
You've got the chat GPT. Use the chat GPT.
Chat-GPT.
Yeah.
So I think she's not the asshole just because he's such an asshole towards her. Like, whatever she has fired back at him is not to the level of like, I still respected him even though he was like digging in me that whole time, And like, I explained my disappointment, to which he said that he was equally disappointed at me for being selfish.
Yeah.
And how are you being selfish?
How is he being selfless in this situation?
Having boundaries, you fucking asshole.
Let me cause you to be go through 9 months of physical debilitation of what is scientifically recognized as a parasite growing within you. Because I want a cute little baby to raise. But
I was selfless in donating my part of the DNA. Come on. What's going on?
I'm gonna watch you suffer.
Yeah.
See, I'm a part of this. Now, that is a good point where instead of him literally just saying, hey, clearly we aren't compatible, we should break up, he instead just ridicules her and shames her for literally having bodily autonomy of like, I don't want to go through with this. That's like, man, you should just break up with her instead of being like, you disgust me.
You really
Hopefully, if I
me.
tell you how disgusting you are in my eyes, you'll suddenly love the idea of me impregnating you. That's not how romance works, man. Last I checked.
Tell him.
Theoretically, last I checked, that isn't how it works. It might work in some people's fetishes. They might enjoy the degradation.
The forced impregnation novels and whatnot.
Not so much the forced impregnation, but more just like the degrading comments towards someone. Some people are into that.
Some people are definitely into that, Jack. I don't think you've talked to enough people.
Look, I'm not going to go into detail about my personal life right now, but like I know people are into that.
It's like, we're going to go to the therapy session. Let's just get the reclining
twist,
chair out.
I'm the one that's into it.
Hell yeah, brother.
Every time someone comments on these YouTube videos about how annoying or stupid I am, I literally get... No, okay.
I am diamonds right now. It is a problem. It is a medical issue. Please, God, help me.
I can literally make my own diamond armor.
It is splitting in half right now.
Jesus.
Here you go. You get this one.
Yeah, let's just.
Here's your reward.
Sorry. Let's get out of that topic. Okay. Oh, yeah, this
Anything
one
to
that
get a
found that.
reaction out of you. Just twisting the knife a little bit more.
Okay, this one actually has an update. So it starts a day ago. Stepdaughter almost drowned in my pool, and her mum and others are blaming me. Am I the a-hole? Saturday night, I came back home at around 6 p.m., and my husband called me saying that he was supposed to pick up his daughter, 5, from her mum's and that he's stuck at work, so her mum would drop her off at our place. I said okay, and I was watching TV and expecting them to arrive soon. Around 8 p.m., my dog started barking and jumping at the window, and when I went to see what's on, I noticed the pool water was wavy. I went outside and saw the little girl in the water, and she was unconscious. I pulled her out and she wasn't breathing. I called the ambulance while trying to revive her. The ambulance arrived within 10 minutes, and I genuinely thought she drowned, but thankfully they managed to save her. She is completely okay now. The thing is, I had no idea that her mum had already dropped her off. She didn't knock or anything, so she probably just left her in front of the house. Her mum also came when she found out, and she was trying to blame me, telling me I tried to murder her daughter. I already told my husband that they didn't knock or enter the house, and I had no idea the girl was even there. Everything became even more messy. Basically, the woman kept on yelling at me, telling me how she's going to fight me and things like how she's going to hold me underwater so I see how that feels. First of all, if it wasn't for my dog barking at the window, I would have no idea the girl was in the pool, and she would drown because I had no idea that the moron dropped her off in front of the house without even knocking or anything. I said this, and she spat at me. The police ended up holding her back, and then my husband came back too, and it was just terrible. After this, I got calls from her parents, and they also tried to threaten me on the phone, but I just shut them down. A couple of other people who I guess she said her version of this to called me, and yeah, it was the same thing. I know, or at least feel like it's not my fault, but at this point, I want to clarify more. Now, I forgot to say that I do have a fence around the house, in the backyard, and it's usually locked, but that day it wasn't, which I know is my fault. Also, as I said, this is my house. This was the first time the girl was here, so I have no idea why would her mum just drop her off in front of a house she's never been to, and no idea why did the girl go for the pool when she couldn't have seen it from the street. Like, I don't know why did she go to the backyard. I'm not blaming her, I'm just explaining. Also, my country doesn't have a law for fence directly around the pool. There is usually a cover, but I wanted the water to get warmer. I don't live here, but I'm currently renovating. Wow. So,
It's a lot.
yeah, it's a lot.
They don't live here, but they're currently renovating. So
That is a bit strange. I think that,
weird one to end it on.
yeah.
I don't think it's their fault at all, though. But sorry.
No,
I'll cut
yeah,
off.
you go on with your thoughts because I'm trying to recollect some of mine.
That's all good. I just don't understand why it's his fault. In any normal society, like, I had no idea she was there. You're lucky that the dog even barked and I was made aware that she was there at that time. Otherwise, she would have died.
Yeah.
Everyone else here is crazy for saying that this is my fault that she almost died.
Yeah,
I think that's ridiculous.
So I wasn't really realizing until just now that mother who dropped off the child, that's the ex-wife of OP's husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, this clearly seems like a case where this ex-wife is just freaked out over the fact that this was possibly her own doing.
What's wrong with her? Like, allowing. Why did she put the child outside and not get the child into the house?
Yeah.
That is parental neglect. And that is, not doing your job as a parent to make sure the child is safe. Did you just drop the child outside, say, all right, there's the door, go do it? You didn't do your due diligence.
Yeah.
And get the child inside and alert them to the fact that they were there. You just trusted your daughter to go up and knock on the door. How old is the child?
That's ridiculous.
know?
5 years old.
A
5-year-old
5-year-old is not going to go up to the door and knock on it. You have to hold that 5-year-old's hand and be like, hey, here she is. Please take her off our hands. That is the ex-wife's fault. That is OP's husband's ex-wife's fault that this happened. Oh, she is lucky that OP was able to spot the child in the pool and save her. Everything after that, with everyone blaming her, is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of people in the comments sort of blaming her over the fact of the fence thing, that like it doesn't matter who dropped off the child carelessly or whatever, the fact that the 5-year-old was able to access the pool, that makes you an a-hole. Just the idea that like, what if another 5-year-old kid, another little kid was wandering around the place and some parent nearby didn't know? Sure, that parent should have been aware, but
Yeah.
like, it's still a case where
Did they forget the fact that it's not OP's house?
well, they're renovating.
They're
it.
renovating.
Yeah, true.
They're renovating their house, so they're living in another house, or they are at their house and they're
Hang on,
renovating.
that's a good point. Okay, so let's see.
What does it say
I
at the
came back
end?
home at around 6 p.m. and my husband called me saying that he was supposed to pick up his daughter. I said, okay. I was watching TV. Yeah. From her mum's, and that he's stuck at work, so her mum would drop her off at our place. So they own the place together, her and her husband, like our place. So she was there, which is where the pool is. And she says, I don't live here, but I'm currently renovating.
Yeah,
So-
what does that mean? What is that? I don't live here, but I'm currently renovating. What does that sentence
Because that does
mean?
sort of affect my whole point I was trying to make, though. Like, if this is your place and
should have the pool.
that's your pool, you have to be responsible for that pool being, properly sealed away from kids. Obviously, in this country that she's at, they don't have a law for that. I know here in Australia, we absolutely have those kind of laws.
Yep.
They'll
get you.
Yeah. It's like...
And I'll make it look like an accident.
Well, I remember when I had to do a lot of like pool swimming training stuff for like working at resorts that would have that kind of thing. Was that like someone's neighbor wandered into wandered into someone else's pool. So someone's neighbor's kid wandered into their pool,
What was the neighbor doing wandering into the kid? Sorry, you guys.
Stop railroading. Stop segueing away from my stories. Because I'm going to lose track of them. Yes, so someone's neighbor's kid wandered into their house, like backyard pool area that wasn't properly sealed off. Kid ended up drowning. Even though that parent wasn't keeping aware of where their kid was, because that kid wandered into someone else's property that had a pool in that suburban area, that person had like got a huge ass fine and almost jail time. If it like weren't for the fact they like proved that they were getting a fence installed, something like that. Anyway, so I think that's the thing where it's like, okay, I can actually kind of understand people being like, hey, doesn't matter if the kid was dropped off inappropriately. That's one issue. The other major issue is the fact you were letting a kid into this household where you knew you had something that was a genuine, like,
Right.
a danger. It's like you have nails lying around on all your floors, and you still invite a bunch of people over to take their shoes off. It's like you got to kind of acknowledge the fact that you've got a hazard in the house. You've got a hazard in the house.
Come inside.
I know it's a weird analogy, but it was all my brain could think of.
So there's nails on the floor. Just walk around them.
Just walk on the walls if you can. Just walk like this.
Spider-Man that shit around. Hell yeah. Sorry, guys. We got a bunch of nails on the floor inside. I hope you don't mind.
Okay. Shall we go on to the update then?
It's just like, I understand, but like we can go in a second, but...
Oh, yeah. No, you give me your closing thoughts
I guess
on it, though.
it's like there should have been a fence around the pool, absolutely. OP says, I don't live here. We're renovating at the moment.
Yeah.
Is it their house or is it somewhere else that they're living while the renovations are taking place?
Yeah, because if they're not living there, then why are they dropping the kid off there?
Yeah.
That's what I'm also
what are they
confused
doing
by.
there?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Why that last sentence threw me off, and that's why I'm like, no, they're not an asshole. It's up to the parent to do that. And they said the pool isn't in view also of the street, I think. That was part of it. I don't remember entirely exactly what was said there. Yeah, I think maybe it's an everyone sucks here and everyone shares responsibility. For me, the majority of the responsibility is on OP's husband's ex-wife for not ensuring the kid got inside.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, look after the kid, because who knows? A 5-year-old is going to run off and get abducted. That is an absolute possibility. And then also on OP and OP's husband for not having a fence around the pool.
Yeah. I think it is also still very important to note that like the fallout that OP's received for this is not at all valid compared to like the fact that everyone's hounding on her for this all happening rather than acknowledging the fact that, hey, you shouldn't just dump your child off at someone's house without double checking that an adult has come to collect your child that you were leaving them with, like a guardian sort of thing. But okay, with that said, we come to the update that is saying, I won't fully go into details, but my husband talked to his daughter. I still haven't spoken to her or seen her since, and he asked her what happened. So they arrived to the back of the house, and not actually to the front, because they thought that was the front, which is fine.
What?
So they...
I walked to the back of the house because I thought it was the front of the house.
So it must be kind of house where you can mistake the front for the back. I think some houses, they have like a back door that kind of looks like a front door as well.
What happened? The front fell off. The front fell off? What's the chance of that? Chance in a million.
What is that from? That sounds like something I know.
It's like the interview where they're like the oil tanker spilled a bunch of oil into the Gulf, and there's like an Australian company, and he's like, "What happened? A wave hit it. A wave hit it. What's the chance of that? A chance in the ocean? Chance in a million." And it's like, we moved it from one environment out of the environment. Don't you mean you moved it from one environment to another? No, we moved it out of the environment.
Oh my god.
I'll have to show you. Link
Oh
it
my god, that
afterwards.
sounds amazing. Okay.
The front fell off. The front fell off.
Okay. So, so they arrived to the back of the house and not actually the front because they thought that was the front, which is fine. Still, the mum did just drop her off and drove away thinking she's going to knock on the door and come inside. Thankfully, neighbor's camera actually caught one side of the car, and it very obviously shows that the car stopped for not more than 30 seconds. And
That's what I'm assuming happened. She's like, all right, go, piss off.
And since it caught the driver's side, it's visible that the driver, the mum, didn't exit the car and drove away. So, the girl said that she was going to knock on the door, but she saw a frog in the grass by the pool and wanted to pick it and bring inside. Gate for the backyard was open, and she went inside. Frog was running away from her and fell in the pool. She tried to reach for the frog and fell inside. Even though what happened was horrible, thankfully she is okay now and it didn't cause any serious damage. I already said in my previous post that the gate was unlocked, but even worse, she walked in through the other side, which was completely open. Thankfully, the pool wasn't covered, because if she stepped on the cover, it would literally trap her inside. I feel really bad for what happened, knowing that part of leaving the gate open was my fault, but at least the worst outcome didn't happen. I won't share any more about anything related to the situation with mum and police. Okay.
That's just a nightmare situation. I mean, like, it sucks that sometimes you have to learn the hard way through the most insane and life-threatening ordeals, but I still blame, for the most part, the mother for not walking her child up to the house.
Yeah, like, what she's done here is really, like, though she might think it's fine because it's like, oh, she's right outside the house, you know, obviously the child's going to go in there. Like, you've done the equivalent of just dropping the kid off, like, 5 blocks away from the house and being like, go on.
All right,
You'll
have
find
fun. You can find it. Just down there and to the left. All right, mummy's busy. Bye.
Yeah, mummy needs to have a dessert drink.
Mummy's busy. I'm not going to make sure you're safe. Good luck.
God, yeah.
It's
I
like
mean, the fact she also like spat on Opie and all that stuff too is just,
It's a cultural way to say hello. Yes.
I hope I never visit that kind of culture.
Hell no. Make sure that culture never visits me.
Yeah, I feel like the update's really mostly more people just really being on OP's side about this. Hey, even someone suggesting file a report with CPS and a police report for her threatening behavior and spitting on you. They might not be able to do much, but that paired with the CPS will help your husband build a case for primary custody, assuming he wants primary custody.
He's not one of these ones. I hate my daughter stands that we see on these
I'm not
stories all the time.
decided yet if I want to have kids. My daughter's 5, but I'm not sure yet.
I'm still on the fence.
Yeah, and I resent my ex-wife for that.
Oh no.
Oh man.
There's other jokes to make, but no. There's more like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to find any sort of like other nuanced
I'm not going to make
comments,
jokes about that. That's insane to make jokes about, guys.
Yep.
It sucks that this situation happens. I hope everyone learns from this to walk the child up to the door like any normal, sane person with a brain would, to make sure their child is in the guardianship of another adult. Why does anyone trust a 5-year-old to get themselves to it? Like, put yourself in the shoes of a 5-year-old. Of course they're going to see a frog and run after the frog and completely forget what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like, 5-year-olds are not able to look after themselves.
Now, I was going to sort of also add on to the point of like questioning why she doesn't try to go to police about all that's happening to her and stuff. And look, this comment does make a valid point here that Any cop or lawyer would tell you to shut the hell up about your case here. Opie has to fight, admitting that the gate was open, even though none of that should matter. This negligent mother is clearly going to try and weaponize it against Opie. Opie was foolish for even making the first post, but what is done is done. Some kid nearly dies, and the family blames you. The last thing you're going to do is post about it online. Opie is clearly wised up, and here you are acting like they're doing something wrong. It's frankly silly as hell. Because like they were asking, like, yeah, why don't you share about this with police? It's the fact that she's literally going to be going to the police that like, help, someone spat at me and it called me an asshole, and that like I should like suffer for a kid dying on my property. You know, like it's like the police are probably going to be like, so it kind of sounds like people are acting rather emotional, but nonetheless kind of understandable towards you unintentionally almost killing their kid. Again, not that I think OP really deserves to be considered like that, but I can understand how that's not really something you want to bother the police with.
No, not at all. Or that one where it's like, I paid this man multiple times to murder my wife, and
Wait, what?
And he never murdered my wife, and I want to. Yeah, this is like a real case. I was telling you, my friend's lawyer told me about it. It's like a real landmark case going on in Australia. It's like a man, I think it is in the Northern Territory, paid another man like $20,000, like $5,000 to like murder his wife, and the other guy was like, yeah, I'll do it, and then didn't do it. And he's like, oh, look, I need more money to do it, something happened, gives him another like $5,000, doesn't do it, and then he's like, comes back and he's like, look, I need more money again to do this, that, and the other to make sure that I can murder your wife. And he's like, all right, here's $2,500, just make sure it's done. So he like steals all this money from him. And then that guy that wants to murder his wife goes to the police and is like, hey, so I paid this guy all this money, and here's like the evidence of it, to like murder my wife. I'm trying to get him to murder my wife, but he didn't do it. And they're like, okay, you're getting arrested, buddy. And it's like, then they go to the other guy and he's like, no, I never intended to. Here's all the receipts of the money that I spent on my kids instead. And
Holy
it's like,
shit.
And then they're trying to build a case around, can you legally charge someone for conspiracy to murder, especially if the one doing it never intended to do it in the first place.
Yeah, and like has evidence for what their intentions with the money were.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's yeah. Man, being a lawyer actually sounds kind of fun when you don't think about all the like assholery that a lot of them kind of do to protect scummy people. What an interesting thing to have to try and work out and like figure out like what's this precedent we want to set for our society of what is acceptable or not.
When someone wants to murder their wife and the person doesn't do it, and then the person wanting to murder their wife goes to the police about it and admits to wanting to murder their wife and then being upset because they want their money back.
That is crazy.
I need my money back so I can pay someone else to murder my wife, all right? Let's do this.
Man, if the whole like the career path of becoming a lawyer wasn't so tremendous and degrading and like a nightmare, I would totally find that actually an interesting career to look into. That's so cool.
Well, I'm glad that you find that cool. Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know, just again, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you working on this case could be something that sort of really, just affects society going forward. But of course, then you have things like, hey, we sorted out the idea of abortion being a human right back in the day, and now here we are.
We're overturning it. Let's go.
Yeah, woo. Time for the big bit of the classics. We're gonna take it back to the past. Woo woo.
But yeah, I think I was relating that back to like going to the police about this and being like, yeah, the child died. You're like, oh man, I'm incriminating
Everyone's
myself
upset at me for
by
almost getting a child killed.
But she spat on me, officer. You need to do something about her. She's the problem here, not me.
Would you like to read this next story? It's a very short one, but I reckon you'd agree with the title.
That's why I put it there. Yes.
Yeah, I reckon you'd agree with this title.
Okay, guys. Next one by Devin the Fox.
He's told me in the past he absolutely agrees with this sort of title.
Yeah.
He believes that this about women.
And here I am going to defend my position.
He made this post, yeah.
Yeah, that's me. Am I the asshole here for telling my girlfriend I am not responsible for her periods? What do you mean I am responsible for her periods? What's wrong with you?
I was about to say, doesn't it sound as misogynistic as I first read it to be?
God, what the hell, man? I do that to them.
I retract my banter there. That doesn't work.
Dude, I'm the reason women have periods. What's wrong with you?
Forget about the Sandman. It's the period man.
Hell yeah.
He comes every month to smack your pancreas with a freaking baseball
A
bat.
pancreas, you say?
Is it pancreas?
It's
the
not
pelvis.
the
pelvis.
pancreas.
Oh my god. Wrong P word.
Give me that pancreas.
What's the pancreas again?
It's the one that can get pancreatitis. It's the one that you...
What's the nose again? Oh, it's the thing that gets nosetitis.
That's such a bad way of describing it. It's one of those...
What's the fly? Oh, it's the thing that flies?
It's the thing that like buzzes and shit. It's one of those organs. I think it's responsible for bile. I don't know. It doesn't need, like, the pancreas is an organ of the digestive system and the endocrine system of vertebrates. In humans, it's located in the abdomen behind the stomach and functions as a gland. The pancreas is a mixed or heterocrine gland, i.e., it is both endocrine and a digestive exocrine. What the hell? It's one of those ones you can just cut out of your body and your body doesn't really care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Same as, what's the
So it's
other
like,
one?
yeah, okay.
Well, look up, Google, organs your body
Welcome to
doesn't
the science segment of Certified
actually need.
Arseholes.
So is pancreas one of them? 10 body parts that are useless in humans. Or maybe not. Male nipples. Get them out.
Yeah, get rid of them. Who needs them?
What is the
They're just a distraction.
vomeronasal organ? What the hell is that? The palmaris longus muscle.
Palmaris longus muscle?
We're just making words
Yeah,
up
that
at this
just sounds like
point.
something some scientist is like, that's the palmaris longus.
The appendix. That's the one that I was saying. The
Yeah,
appendix.
appendix, yep.
And the
No one
third
looks at that part in
eyelid.
the dictionary.
The third eyelid. Birds, reptiles, and some mammals, including cats, have a third eyelid that blinks across the eye from the
Yep, I've
lower
seen that.
inner corner to the upper
Yeah.
outer corner. What? We
Yeah,
have
like-
that?
No, we don't.
Do we? Do we not?
No.
This windshield wiper-like structure called the nictating membrane doesn't exist in humans.
Nictating membrane.
But humans do carry a remnant of the third eyelid in the inner corner of each eye. Oh, that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where the sleep builds up. That's our remnant of it. Hell yeah.
Cool.
Science lessons.
We have wind blades. Was it wind sweat? Wind.
The wing blades. Windshield wipers.
Windshield wipers. God damn it! I had to literally Google it to be like sure I was saying the right words.
Have you taken your stroke medication, Grandpa? The whim, 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 whim. Oh, shit. I can't do
This is why we don't talk about science on here. Because I lose the ability to. My brain power goes all into trying to think of the words.
I'm crying.
Oh God.
Christ. Oh my God. Sorry, we're still trying to read the story, man.
The story.
Jesus Christ.
Get back to the freaking story.
Oh man. Oh, that's so good. So
Oh,
stop. So my 23 male girlfriend, 24 female of 2 months, is irresponsible while on her periods.
Okay.
Okay, is that what you're trying to get at? She leaves her dirty pads on the garbage and doesn't open the lid. I see blood drops on the toilet seat and she doesn't wipe them off.
Oh Jesus.
This is the second time that I've had to deal with this, and it makes me sick. I had a talk with my girlfriend about it last night, and I said that I'm not responsible for your periods. Please clean up after yourself. She got mad at me, calling me a misogynist and ableist because she has bipolar.
Ableist? Does she not have the limbs to use a toilet brush?
She's like, I am disabled, okay? Stop being
Cuts off her
ableist.
hands. See?
I cut off my hand to spite my face, okay? To spite my arm, nose to whatever.
Yep.
My last girlfriend wasn't this messy, and she had ADHD. Why are you gonna phrase it like that? What the hell?
I mean, look, in this context with her arguing that her bipolarism makes her disabled, I can understand his argument there that
I do somewhat feel ashamed, though. Maybe I went too far with words and should apologize. Did I go too far with words?
I think he did. I think when he started bringing up the palmus longus,
They've made up organs that we could just get rid of.
making up all these organs.
Get rid of my palmus longus.
Talking about windshield wiper eyelids.
The win.
The win. No, I think like the fact. Clearly, he needs to try some weaponized incompetence.
He
does.
does.
He needs to do the same tactic that women used to fight against men who are useless at cleaning up themselves in the kitchen and that kind of shit. And he needs to start leaving skid marks in the toilet bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Fight those blood marks with skid marks of his own.
He needs to become a snail and drag himself along the carpet. Now who's fighting fire with fire?
Now who's ableist?
Yes.
I can only walk with my rectum.
Yes, look at me with my palmus longus. I'm just saying words here.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
also bipolar here. She's gross and unsanitary. You are not the asshole and need to learn how to clean up after yourself. And the fact that she tries to use her bipolar as a reason why she doesn't throw out pads or wipe up her blood is immature and ignorant. Thank you for that. Someone had to say it.
I'm glad
Someone
the
had to
mentally
say
disabled
it.
are having a voice.
Don't say that, Jack.
in this context of what she's going on about, with that being an
Someone's
ableist
gonna eat
thing.
you up for that one. That's crazy. Just wait until the clips come out for that.
no.
Jesus Christ.
But the fact she thinks that her being bipolar is some sort of disability in this context.
Oh, you seen that clip? And it's like, oh, that's
Wait.
not. Oh,
Wait, what was that from?
it was from the Fox News clip where they were talking about the deportations. They're just like, well, if you're against the deportation of Latinos, who's gonna do your gardens?
Yes, no, that's right. Yeah. Like if Donald Trump takes you out of this, well, Donald Trump, who's going to clean your toilets? And they're like,
Oh, that's
no. like, oh
not-
god, that's so funny.
That's like
That's so bad.
Well, we had to do something about the mentally disabled. Oh, that's not. No. Oh. Oh, honey, that's a.
I've become the view.
I am become the meme. So she's being not the asshole. She's being gross. You're only 2 months in. I would just tell her that the two of you are not compatible and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, pretty open and shut case. What about sort by controversial?
Oh
I
yeah,
need
see
some-
someone defend the girl here.
I need some brain damage, please. As a woman, I'm telling you, run from women who use the term misogynistic to shame you. She's a red flag. Yeah, even the controversial ones are normal. God damn it. Well, period is also known as menstrual cycle.
What?
So it's obviously my fault. Ooh, -22. Up, dudes.
Ooh.
Whilst she shouldn't be doing these things, your choice of language is a shaming in tone. A simple, can you please wipe the toilet seat after you've had a spill, or can you please put your rubbish in the bin, is a healthier way to communicate. It's direct, simple, and non-judgmental.
Look, that is a valid point. As annoying as it is, of the whole, oh, get over yourself. Like, you're literally being a disgusting person. You deserve to be shamed for it. At the same time, if you are aware your partner is bipolar, I guess you should somewhat be aware of how you need to approach things. Especially if if they're bipolar, they have a tendency to sometimes, take things a bit more, irrationally than you intended to deliver them. Yeah, I can kind of understand that actually. That like,
This is, I mean, some people are making stretches here as well, though. They're saying,
oh yeah.
she should clean up the toilet. She should clean the toilet up after herself, but you need to get over the pads in the trash. And I'm curious, how often do you clean the toilet and the floor around it? Because I guarantee you're making a mess yourself.
Did she
What
do
do you say
something?
fuck
Well,
me
I
for?
bet you murdered someone, and that makes you even worse.
Yeah? Oh, she's shitting on the floor? Well, I bet you diarrhea on the floor yourself. Yeah, buddy. Okay. I don't have
love
much
that.
to add to that one.
Yeah, I love the jump to conclusion that, like, oh, well, if the woman does something, then clearly the other person must be even worse just
Yeah.
by proxy.
If she's so bad, you must be terrible being with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. Am I the a-hole for telling a woman at the gym that she's embarrassing herself?
Yes. No, kidding.
It's
I know
only
this one.
respectful. You've got to let them know if they're doing something wrong. That's something that every man must do at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Tell a woman if she's doing it right or not.
While recording myself myself telling women at the gym they're embarrassing.
Yeah, no, you
themselves.
grab her phone, record yourself doing it, then give it back to her because you're helping her create content online, which will help her become more of an influencer, get a more successful career path that way, and she can live a more comfortable lifestyle being an influencer, get good deals, maybe travel the world. So by you being an asshole and a misogynist, you're actually helping her.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I make sense.
I agree with this. Or I get them to record me on my phone and I go, cha 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 cha. Itadakimasu. It's like a TikTok I saw. Sorry.
See, I alwast am never on TikTok, but I love when you just bring up these references that I have no idea about because it's just so out of nowhere.
Watashi were 7-Eleven. Itadakimasu. It's funny. I'll show you
No,
it
it
later.
is funny, but it's just so confusing at the same time. I love it.
Gomenasai.
Okay, shut up, Jar Jar Binks practicing Japanese. Okay.
Keep going, keep going. Nurse?
Anakin.
Yo, Japanese. It's lit.
Okay. I go to the gym a lot. About 6-ish months ago, I noticed a woman I'll call Andrea. That's not her name, but it will be for the rest of this post. I don't know if Andrea started going to the gym 6 months ago or if that's just when I noticed her. Full disclosure, I spoke to her first, but I had no way of knowing what the result would be. A lot of the machines at this gym have little entertainment systems attached to them that can access local channels. I got on a treadmill and realized the TV on the treadmill wasn't working. Andrea, I think it's Andrea maybe. Andrea, sorry.
Or could be Andrea.
Could be. Andrea was walking past and I said, "Hey, do you know if there's an issue with the cable? This TV isn't working, but I don't know if it's just this one or all of them." She said the same thing happened to her on a different machine. I thanked her. That was the whole interaction. A week later, she asked me for some electrolyte powder for her water. I said I didn't have any. She was cool with that and asked me how long I'd been coming to the gym and what I did for work. I answered and returned her questions. She said she was new to the area and worked in private security.
Red flag.
We had a few more chill conversations after that. 6 weeks ago, she asked me out. For reasons I won't get into here, I wasn't interested. I declined. He wasn't attracted to her.
Because he didn't know how to say her name. No, kidding.
Andre Ryu.
I'm just going to call you Andy.
She said not to worry about things being awkward at the gym if we don't work out. I said that wasn't the issue. I'm just not looking to date right now. She kept talking to me, and at first I kept talking to her, but I started to think something might be wrong, and I started avoiding her. 2 weeks ago, she walked up to me while I was on a machine with only one way to properly dismount that involved stepping into where she was standing. She asked if I was avoiding her. I said I was and apologized. I said I just don't want to date right now. She said I don't have to avoid her to not date her. I said, okay. I kept avoiding her though. Tonight, while I was working out, she confronted me again about avoiding her. I had a bad day and told her to leave me alone. She asked why I'm being such a prick, and I said because I wanted her to leave me alone. I then said that she was embarrassing herself and needs to stop. She put her foot on top of the weights, and I thought she was going to press down on them. So I let go of the bar very quickly, causing the weights to slam and make a noise. Several people looked over. She said, "Now who's embarrassing himself?" and walked away. Did I go too far by saying that? Do I owe her an apology?
Embarrasses you in public? Now who's embarrassing themselves?
Makes a loud, like verbally makes a huge noise to get everyone's attention of like yelling at him and saying that he's the one who should be embarrassed.
Hits you with a cream pie in your face. Now who's the clown?
Puts on clown makeup in front of you. Now who looks silly? Ah.
Oh God! No, sorry, I did read this one already, but I want to get your opinion on it also. Obviously, I just said from the get go, I'm like, straight red flag. What the hell are you doing? Like, encapsulate this entire situation with her. She's also works in private security, so she's got contacts. You know, you'd probably be scared of someone that works in private security as well.
Yeah.
Stalking behavior, repetitively coming up to him, won't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to start telling the gym stuff about her because, you know, let's start building a case. And is she stalking him? Does he realize if she is stalking him or not? If you're in private security, who knows what the hell she has access to? What the hell are you asking all those questions at the end for instead of, am I overreacting or am I underreacting?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what you should be asking. Like, look at those questions he asks. Was I rude to her? Should I have said what I said?
Yeah. Do I owe her an apology for literally telling her multiple times that I want to be left alone?
Those are not the questions you should be asking right here. Obviously not. And it's just because it's like, we've flipped the script here. It's a woman harassing a man, so that means it's different. Or it's not different.
Yeah,
I'm being gaslit.
Points to her though for using an excuse to ask someone if they have electrolyte powder for her water. They say no, and she's like, "Okay, so who are you? Tell me everything about you."
Yeah.
What a segue.
Anyway. How much electrolyte powder does it to take it to meet someone like cute as you?
What's your body weight? Just asking for someone who might inject you with some sort of sleeping agent later.
Just curious.
Yeah, just curious how much it might take to get you
What's
to...
your daily protein intake?
Yeah.
Like? You know, that comes into the equation as well.
Now, there is an update in the same post, as well as an actual update, I realized. So there are actually, there's two updates. Okay, update. I went in early this morning for a run and told the front desk staff about Andrea putting her foot on the weights. They said they would talk to her. Then, after work, I went in again for a regular workout. I was working on my legs when she walked up to my machine. The first thing she did was apologize about the weights. I don't know if someone talked to her or if that was of her own initiative. I accepted her apology and apologized for saying she was embarrassing herself. I mean, you just stated the facts, let's be real. She said she forgave me, but if I really wanted to make it up to her, I could buy her a drink and she would buy me one too to make up for the weights. Oh my God.
The creepiest guy at the bar approaches you. Hey, me and my wife really liked your vibe.
It's just
Can
like...
we buy you a drink?
Hey, this person that I clearly fractured my possible friendship with because I wanted to date you and you didn't want to date me, I'm willing to repair this awkward situation I made by you not getting what you want.
Hey, wait. Let's cross that bridge when we get there. How do you know you don't like me if you don't date me first?
That's true. We don't know yet. That's a very responsible thing to do in a relationship.
I'm literally 21 years old. Let's figure it out. Okay?
Okay. I said maybe we should buy our own drinks, eating separately at different places and times. And she misunderstood me and asked when and where. Oh, no, mate.
Maybe we shouldn't do that. Okay, when and when? What?
Okay. I told her I meant that I didn't want to go out with her. She said this wouldn't be a date, but a reset for our friendship. Oh, sure. I said I didn't want to be friends. She said I was being a douche and asked what my problem is. I said the weight incident made me uncomfortable and I would rather us just give each other space. She then asked me if my problem with her is that she's Hispanic. I was so taken aback.
Clearly
that's going to be the only other issue here. Is
everything
your
that's
race.
happened, it's happened because you're Hispanic.
Yeah.
That is why.
Nothing to do with your actions and your behavior. No. That stuff is normally totally acceptable.
That is white people behavior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's come to a head that you're Hispanic and everything makes sense. No, like... What is going on here?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was so taken aback with her saying that. I didn't even know she was until she said that. I said no, that she just makes me uncomfortable. She wanted me to explain what about her made me uncomfortable, and I tried to do so, but she argued with every point I made. Oh, of course, she wasn't trying to understand. She wanted to
No.
give you, like, she wanted to argue, to, like, shut you down.
I'm just there to convince you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I got frustrated and told her to just stay away from me. She said fine, and that I have a lot of maturing to do. Then she walked away.
Yeah, it's rich.
I'm hoping that's the end of it. Well,
Yeah, he has a lot of maturing to do.
yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, with there being an update 5 days later, that wasn't the end of it.
Well, there was 5 days of maturing in between now and then.
True.
You never know.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe
yeah.
he came out on the other side all right. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, okay, skipping the summary. Going to the actual update. Andrea is banned from the gym. I was running on the treadmill and watching TV. She came up to talk to me, and I ignored her, staring at the TV. She raised her voice, and I continued to ignore her. She reached out and pulled the safety tab out of the treadmill, the one you connect your wrists so the treadmill stops if you fall, causing the treadmill to come to a sudden stop. I tripped and fell onto the controls and TV, scratching my chin on the top of the screen.
Scratching my palmus longus on the way down. So,
And damaging and losing my appendix.
the pancreas came with it.
Yeah. I went to the front desk with Andrea following me. I told them what she did. Miss, she
Miss.
hurt me.
Miss,
No,
Miss.
no.
stop yelling. Miss, answer my question
Oh, no.
already.
Wait, it's exactly like that though. She kept trying to interrupt me and talk over me, but the woman at the front desk told her to be quiet and wait her turn.
Yeah. We're back to the schoolyard.
Literally a schoolyard.
We're in the schoolyard.
I told her Andrea pulled out the safety tab while I was running and injured me. The woman at the front desk then asked Andrea what happened. Andrea said I was staring into the middle distance, like I was in some kind of
Fugue state.
Fugue state. Oh, there you go. You knew it.
Because it's like from, and I said, oh, well, like the old Walter White from Breaking Bad reference. Did you watch season 1 or 2 of Breaking Bad?
I've never seen Breaking
Oh,
Bad.
Jesus Christ, Jack. So there's a section of it in Breaking Bad in season 1 where he does something like really fucked up with a drug deal, and he doesn't have an out for like how they found him basically naked in the desert, and like what he was doing there and why.
Yeah.
And he said instead, I was simply in a fugue state. So they took him into the hospital to be evaluated for like a mental health episode, as in he just lost his
Oh.
mind. I was in a fugue state.
Right.
That's what that is.
Gotcha. And she thought I was having a medical episode. Right, yeah, that makes sense then. So she pulled the tab. Oh, wow. So clearly she's seen Breaking Bad herself.
Yes, dude, she knows. She watches Kino and she's crazy, Jack. Get with the times.
The woman at the front desk asked for her membership card. Andrea didn't want to give it to her, but the woman at the front desk said if she didn't, she would ban her. Andrea gave her the card, and the woman at the front desk said to leave, and she was suspended for a month. Andrea objected and got into an argument with the woman at the front desk that escalated into Andrea calling the woman an N-word, B-word.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Just a casual N-word, B-word. At the
Yeah.
gym.
So she was banned permanently. I hesitate to call that a happy ending because the poor gym employee had to put up with racial harassment, but I won't deny to watch her cut up Andrea's membership card felt good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's not going to be the end of it, really, because that's like, you banned her from the gym. You are the one who caused this, ultimately, in her eyes. I don't think someone who working in private security is going to let that sort of go.
Especially if they're going to let rip an N-word, B-word in front of you
Yeah.
to the person in authority in that situation. Yeah, no, I'd be taking it to the police and reporting her for harassment.
At least
and
just
getting-
keeping it on file so it's there to be like, hey, this was reported earlier and now it's escalated. Like, give you something to sort of start with when
That's
it
what
comes
everyone
to the
in
police.
the comments is saying. They'll be like,
Yeah.
you need to take this to the police. You need to report her.
I do love this. Hey, well, at least Andrea figured out how to actually cancel a gym membership. Maybe that was her plan all along.
Yes. Finally, she has the solution.
That's what you got to do, folks. Just run around the gym swearing racial profanities.
And not taking no for an answer.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
just
guys.
harass other people.
Now, every time I see someone in the gym, so you got any electrolytes for your water? Anyway, Nice to meet you.
The moment anyone asks me for electrolyte powder for their water, I'm just going to scream and run away.
Get away from me. Common pickup tactic right now.
Yeah, perfect.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad that, happy days.
Yeah.
Everything worked out in the end.
In the end, everyone's happy, and someone just got a bit of a little bump on their chin.
That's a crazy tag. What the hell? Am I the asshole for throwing a cup of cold water on my naked husband? I just know you loved finding this story.
It was a fun title to read.
My husband has been tested for ADHD, but he doesn't have it. He has the
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry.
He's been tested for it. He's not been diagnosed.
Yeah, I thought it was like he has ADHD, but I don't think he has it. Like,
but it's not real.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
The doctor was in a fugue state when it was happening. He has the kinds of problems that are associated with ADHD, however. He says that writing lists, making a schedule, setting alarms, etc. are physically painful for him, and he'd rather just deal...
Physically painful?
It's like Dumbledore when he's being force fed by Harry Potter. He's like, just put it in my mouth, Harry.
Sorry, honey, what was that? You need eggs.
Jesus Christ, make it stop.
It's too easy. And you need what's the product of apples you need? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Make sure I write that down. No. You're like, God, what? Come on, man.
It's physically painful. So he'd rather just deal with occasional emergencies rather than be proactive. Bro, what is wrong with people? The specific problem: he often forgets to push the shower diverter valve down. You know, the little rod on the tub faucet that you push down to make water fill the tub and pull up to make the water come out of the shower.
Wait, are you telling me that is something he struggles?
He forgets to push it down. He forgets to push it down.
Okay, wait, so what are the consequences of that for him?
So, for nearly
you keep reading
20 effing years, I have been asking him to push that down. Since I was literally a teenager, I have been asking him to push that effing thing down. At least twice a month, I have a very unpleasant wake-up/cold shower because I turn the water on and I get a cold spray from the shower, and every effing time he's apologetic, and then a week or two later it happens again. Is she trying to have a bath in the morning? I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm feeling this is one of those things where it's like, end of the day, it kind of is both your responsibility to just like change it.
So,
okay, hang on, okay.
You push it down to make the water fill the tub, and she's been asking him to push it down. So he leaves it up. He has a shower and he leaves it up.
Yeah. And so she goes in the bathroom, she tries to turn the bathtub on, but it turns the shower head on first immediately, so she gets sprayed with water, cold water. And it's like, oh, Jesus.
So it's not a morning thing. She's going to run a bath for herself, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
That's only twice a month, at least twice a month. I think that's an unreasonable ask. If everyone's just using this for a shower all the time, how is he supposed to know when she wants to have a bath?
Yeah, and also my thought too is the fact that, like, you know, you can tell if it's...
You can look at it.
You
it's
can
in
see.
front of you.
Yeah. It's not like as if it's the toilet where, you know, it might be late at night and you need to go for a night whiz or some shit like that. Like...
It's not his responsibility to make sure that when you want to have a bath, it's ready to go for you with the tab down. You can spend the mental effort of 2 seconds. Boop,
yeah.
Done. What is wrong with you?
Like I was ready to call out this man for being so stupidly pathetic for the whole physical pain to just organize your life, but this is almost equally as ridiculous.
This is pathetic. This is genuinely pathetic. And what are you making him apologize for? This is sad. Oh no. When I wake up in the morning, he hasn't switched the lights on to turn the lights on in the room, and he has to apologize for that because it pisses me off.
This reminds me of one of those things.
My God.
From how it's like you're that kind of partner who, when you finish breakfast, you need your partner, you expect your partner to lay out the table settings to be ready for dinner that's like, 8 hours away. While at the same time, they think, well, why don't I just set it when I come back home from work when it's 2 hours before dinner? The plate, everything will still be ready by the time dinner's ready. It's like, no, you have to set it after breakfast. It's like, well, technically, it literally makes no difference except for your peace of mind because you personally like that.
No, Jack, I had this stew in the pot and I went to put it in the bowl on the table and the bowl wasn't there.
No, but
and the
like,
soup got on the table.
In this instance,
Jack,
the bowl is still going to be there regardless if you set it up 2 hours early
hey,
or if you set it up 8
I
hours
could have
early.
taken the bowl with me and put it on the table and then put the stew in
Don't
the
you
bowl.
trigger me. This is I'm literally bringing up an example of one of my previous relationships where we literally had an argument of like, they wanted me to set things on the dinner table, like the mats and things.
Well, they
for
could be
dinner.
watching right
and
now.
it's like, oh my God, it doesn't matter if I don't set them until I come home from work. They're going to be set and ready. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I'm just saying my example was how pathetic it is that they turn the faucet on and the water hits them when they could easily look right in front of them and say, oh, boop,
Yeah.
and then I'll turn it on.
Yeah.
It's like I made the soup for dinner and I go and I'm like, okay, soup's coming, guys. Let's all have soup now. And I just ladle it onto the table.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh, there's no bowl here.
Yeah.
And I've been hit in the face with the water. I've ladled soup onto the fucking
Soup and then
table.
spray water.
Yeah, I've ladled soup onto the table without checking if there was a bowl there first.
No, I would argue though, in your instance though, that would require you to have to suddenly then put the soup down, find a bowl, put the bowl there, and then do the soup. I can understand that can be kind of annoying, where you're carrying this big bowl of soup, you're ready to pour, but then you have to like suddenly
Go
stop
do
that.
and stop all that.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But in this instance, she's literally just looking.
Yeah,
Flick.
that's even less effort. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand, but I'm trying to find a similar one.
Yeah,
The
no, I get-
similar
yeah.
one is like more so I'm gonna go to the toilet. Oh, the seat is up, and I'm
Yeah.
not checking that, and I just sit into the bowl. I get that. I
it's-
get that.
Yeah.
You know, but that's pretty much the one for one comparison to this
Yeah.
one. You can look at the toilet bowl, put the seat down. I
It's-
get it.
It's like, God, what's the word? Like, because yeah, I mean, like in the seven toilet seat, I understand there's that argument that like, hey, when it comes to a toilet seat, most of the time people are using the actual seat of the toilet, so you should try to have that down more than leaving it up. That's understandable. And if anything, this sort of applies here too, where it's like, hey, most people use the shower than they use the bath.
Yeah, what if you want to have a shower and your feet get wet
Yeah.
instantly? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, I also kind of understand the fact too, where it's like, hey, if you're with someone you love and they're your partner and you want to, you know, be a good partner with them because you care about what their needs are and stuff, clearly this has been one of her needs for a long time. At some point, man, you kind of got to be like, hey, this is something I need to go out of my way to do for her because I want her to, you know, be happy living with me. And, you know, I'm sure he has some issues that she does that he's probably just not bothered to bring up himself because he knows this is an overlying issue that he hasn't resolved or fixed. And if he ever brings up his own problems that she's behaving
Just adds
in,
more to the plate.
yeah, well, she's going to be like, well, you don't switch the shower to the bath. And it's like, yes, okay, that's a valid point, but that doesn't invalidate me having an issue with you right now. That just points out that we
You're not
both have
allowed
issues
to
to
have
work
problems.
on. Yeah, it's like...
You're not allowed to have any problems, Jack. You don't understand.
Am I maybe bringing up my own past? I'll never tell.
But you literally just did before. What's going on here? Anyway,
Oh, man.
today I just effing had it. I stepped into the shower, turned it on, and had a very cold, rude awakening. I literally did it to myself. I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed the cup by the sink and filled it about 3 inches with cold water and walked out to where he was standing naked. He had just taken off his pajamas and was going to take his shower after mine. Without warning, while he was looking down, I held that plastic cup firmly in my hand and grasping it tightly, I jerked that mother effer in a 45-degree angle to get the cold water all over his torso and face. Oh, God, she's badass, isn't she? I told him that his apologies were worth the paper they were written on, and I was tired of listening to him congratulate himself for getting better when I'd been asking for 20 effing years to stop doing this shit. I told him that I don't accept his apologies, and the fact that it's an accident does not excuse it. I told him that from now on, every time I'm taking a cold shower, so is he. That I refuse to be a second-class citizen in my own home any longer, and if he refuses to make changes to treat me better, I will instead make changes to treat him worse, because I will not tolerate this any longer. I'm going to...
Jesus Christ.
You guys really
Look,
love
this has
each
been
other,
about
don't you?
20 years of this. I'm kind of understanding this sudden, not sudden, but like,
Why it's got to this point.
yeah, like after 20 years of dealing with it, I'm sort of understanding her resorting to this. Like,
I I still say, what is wrong with you? Just check every time.
yeah, look, ultimately, I think it's a case of like, yeah, it sounds like a case where she's never just bothered to take the incentive to check herself. But at the same time, I guess it becomes that sort of, what's the word? It's
Chicken
the,
and egg.
huh?
Is it not a chicken and egg situation?
No, but more like the case of just like, it's the symbolism of it, the
Yeah.
fact that she feels like he doesn't care about her when
like
it's
the
not
mental
that.
load.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that mental load thing where it's
Who's
you
taking
know.
on the mental load in the relationship?
Yeah. And I like that's I think where it is valid to sort of argue sort of against him being like, hey man, just go out of your way to do this. Just make it a habit for yourself. It's yeah. Look, if you love your partner, you're gonna make the effort and prove that. Like sometimes ignorance can really take over with ourselves and that sort of thing, especially if you have
Every
ADHD.
day, the old man brings flowers for the old lady. He loves her so much. Type of AI Facebook video.
Yeah.
He never forget every day bring wife flower.
It's a
from
shame
shop.
my husband doesn't do that for me. He hasn't done it in over 40 years.
Look at them. They made the realistic dog sandcastle that's somehow panting.
My sons can't even remember to call me.
So I'll continue
Yeah.
with the story.
Oh, it's still going.
It's
Oh
still
my
going.
God. We've been going on tangents with this
I'm
one.
going to continue to surprise throw a cold cup of water on him every time I get a surprise cold shower. I'm tired of effing asking or begging for basic effing respect and not getting it, with the implication that I have to effing put up with this forever. So Reddit, I know I'm probably an asshole, but am I a justified asshole? Question.
I want the comments here. I'm so curious what all the
Well,
comments
there's a
say.
Q&A section before that.
Oh
Hold
my
up, let's go. There's a
gosh,
Q&A
wow.
section. Question. Why don't I just check myself? Why
Oh.
don't I just check myself? Why do I expect him to leave it the way that I want it left? Answer. I don't expect him to leave it the way I want. What I expect is for him to leave things the way he found them. When he walks into the bathroom, it's pushed down. That's how I leave it. So he doesn't get blasted with cold water, but he doesn't leave things the way he found them. Instead, he often leaves the last 10 or 20% of a task for me to clean up for him. Question. Why don't I leave it the way I found it? Why don't you leave it up if he leaves it up? Answer. If I left things the way I found them, I would live in a sty. I would also spend a great deal of energy making things messier, as I would literally be cleaning up a space for myself, cleaning up to make a space for myself, and then undoing that work to put things back as a mess.
Like leaving a mess isn't the same as leaving something as a setting.
No.
Like that's not equivalent.
I think she's trying to, she's
Yeah.
trying to push the boundaries of this to justify her.
her not having to
actions
do the
here.
very thing that she's upset for him not doing. Yeah.
Question. Explain your shower to me / why you are getting in before the water is warm. Just going to quote their answer. Just going to quote the user Siska Kid. Folks, you're misunderstanding her situation. She leans in to turn on the water, expecting it to come out of the spigot. Instead, shower mode is still in place and the water sprays out of the shower and onto her head. It is completely rude of the husband to not switch the water flow back to the spigot when he is finished showering. This is just basic etiquette. I still don't agree. What's wrong with this? Oh shit. Okay. Boop. Okay.
I imagine maybe it's the way the handles are angled, or like the bathroom designed in some way that forces her to either put her hand
her head in
underneath, or like the shower head does lean in a way where no matter how gently you try to turn the nozzle, it'll spray some cold water. But again, that still said that just explains the
Doesn't justify
reason.
the.
Well, it doesn't justify her not just simply changing
Yeah,
it.
just going dip.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
If you've been doing it for 20 years, it's both of your faults at this point.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it feels like you're both like. I mean, he isn't really making a stance about it. He's just being forgetful. She's the one who's making this more of an issue in her life than it needs to be.
Yes. I think she's making way bigger of an issue
Yeah,
than
like
it should be.
like you must be living a pretty damn comfortable, happy life if this is something that you genuinely have to treat with such.
If this is something you're losing your
gravitas.
mind over,
Yeah.
it's like it's becoming like divorce levels of animosity between each other. Your life is incredibly privileged.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
You must have a very stable and happy life, like a decent life together. If this is the issue that you have to be like, this is what just I can't stand this.
This is literally tearing me apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is so much wrong in the world, and him not putting the spigot down is what's going to lead to me jumping off a bridge or something.
Yeah, okay. That said, this might be a thing where she hasn't bothered to bring up all the other issues, but there's been many other issues that have caused her to, like, this might just more so be the straw that broke the camel's back. So for all we know, he's probably being a genuine, like, she brings up about mess and things like that.
I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe he is genuinely being actually a very messy and just unkept partner. Again, the ADHD thing, I wouldn't be too surprised if he is failing to, keep up with that sort of organization. At least the way she's describing him to be in regards to the ADHD. So again, yeah, look, as much as I am digging on her for not simply just switching a nozzle, I can understand if maybe this is more an accumulation of things.
It could be.
Yeah.
I can see that. But
anyway,
I still blame her for it. I mean,
look, ultimately, I still blame her as well. I think, end of the day, this is still a perspective thing.
Yeah. You're free to your perspective. I'm not going to put you down for that. OK Mace 91 says, you're the asshole. For nearly 20 years, you could have learned to take 2 seconds to look at it yourself. This is a you problem, not him. And then it's just very long comments after it too. I'll read some of them. I'm honestly scratching my head at getting into the shower before the water goes on. Like, even if it's coming out of the tub faucet hot, the initial shower water will be cold. Plus, who wants to stand there naked and cold waiting for the water to heat? Edit 1, I've never had a shower that required more than sticking an arm into it to turn on. 2, I've also never had a tub where the water diverter didn't automatically go back down once the water was off. It's true, there's a lot of them that do automatically just go back down. I've moved a lot, 15 times as an adult, 6 as a minor, and this has been the case in each of those homes. So no, it didn't occur to me that she was getting blasted with water while reaching in. I wasn't rude with my comment, but some of y'all are rude as far in replying to me while making the exact same error that I apparently made, assuming everyone has the same experiences.
I was going to just say, in my house right now, the shower, I cannot actually turn on the shower to, make sure it's not cold or not. I have to literally be inside the shower. If I need to open the shower door and reach in, but if I do that to turn the shower on, water will spray outside the shower and all over the floor, which is annoying, and the water will still get me because of where I have to reach with the angle of the bathroom.
Fun.
Yeah, it sucks. I have to literally stand there. I try to angle the shower to step out of the way. I'm literally, like, visually, this is my body, how it looks when I'm in the shower. I'm like...
They can't see it. They can't see it.
Oh, yeah, like if I'm like...
Lean down a little
So
bit.
pretend this hand is holding the shower head, trying to move it away from me as much as possible. This hand is to turn the cold water on. And it's basically me standing like this. Like...
Oh, God.
I'm like, this is the angle of my body.
He's mounting the shower head.
I'm literally squatting my body back as far as possible from where the shower's gonna dangle, like splash down into me, and it always gets my legs, and it always just like, I hate it, especially when it's getting colder here too. So I can understand.
It's a great time.
Yeah,
it's terribly
it's a fun
cold
time
right now. Moat says, this is my thought too. I'm not getting into a cold tub with cold water splashing around while I wait for it to get warm. The rational person reaches in, turns the water on, and waits for the water to warm up before getting in. Sometimes, if the diverter is in the wrong position, I get a cold spritz to the head or face, but that's if I'm not paying attention. Do I prefer the diverter the same way that the OP? Yes. In 15 years, have I ever asked my partner to leave it that way? No. It's easy to do myself when I turn the damn water on. Yes. I'm sure there are many things your scatterbrained husband needs to work on, OP, but it also seems like there are some things you need to work on.
Yeah, this is one of those things where... Sorry, you're still going?
There's still some more to go.
Yeah, keep going.
It's clear from some of her other replies that this is a she divorced me because I left dishes by the sink situation. I still think OP's shower habits are straight bonkers, though. Yes, the husband saying he doesn't want to-do lists or schedules because his ADHD or ADHD adjacent issues makes that too hard for him to bother is wild. He sounds like he's willfully incompetent, a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff, or it sounds like he's willfully incompetent, a lot of stuff, whatever that means, which conveniently gives him an excuse not to do better. This definitely feels like Iranian yogurt is not the issue here situation.
Yeah. Yep, I know that story.
It's not the issue here, guys. Trust me, the gaycation is the issue. Yes, we need a gaycation.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
Gaycation.
it just feels like this is the tip of the iceberg. Like you're saying, there's probably more going on, especially if her comments are giving vibes of she divorced me because I left dishes by the sink situation.
Yeah. Well, it's that thing too, with like how they're saying the whole she needs to work on things too. Like she wants to argue he's somewhat incompetent for following this rule of like this whole argument of weaponized incompetence and stuff. When it's like, so you're incompetent of literally changing it yourself as well, just changing the setting.
It's not the issue. No,
it's not. But like, yeah,
but hers no.
No, obviously not. No, because she is competent. When she literally can't seem to just check herself to do something in a household that she is sharing with someone else. Like I don't know. Yeah, I just think of I'm trying to think of examples living in my house with another housemate of like, sometimes they'll change the faucet in the kitchen sink to cold or hot, and so I'll have to switch over and go to hot and let it heat up for a bit. I couldn't imagine myself making that such a focused issue of my life living in that household. It just sounds so...
It's very mentally draining.
Yeah, it's like at one point it makes me wonder like how much of people's arguably mental load is merely just them becoming so unnecessarily hyperfixated on something.
I think a lot.
Like from either OCD or maybe a bit of autism. Like it's and I don't mean like that in a degrading, like a negative way.
No, I don't.
No, I don't.
Yes, he does mean it in a degrading way. You heard it here first.
Just like in a way, like it's like how some people they have ADHD and like they don't realize that is what's driving them to behave in a certain way. And like if they were more aware of that part of themselves, they could be able to better like notice it and notice if like, hey, is this actually an issue, or am I just making this an issue because of how I was brought up maybe to think that it should be an issue? Like I don't know. I think of some examples where, oh gosh, I remember this great comment someone made somewhere at some point in time I've read on the internet, but they're like bringing up the fact that like a lot of the time women get very pushed by their parents and their mothers to hyperfixate on things like a nice household because it's the woman's duty to keep the place clean. And so a lot of women have grown up thinking that is the precedent of what makes them a capable adult and human, while a lot of guys growing up being told that, they need to work hard and make money and stuff. And so to them, a lot of men, they're grown up to believe that like, well, the household isn't their responsibility or their job. Unlike their job or work, that's what makes them who they are as valuable people of society, while women are grown up to be told being a good housemaid and a housewife is what makes you a good person of society. And so we both get brought up with these different ideas of what makes us an adult. And so men end up becoming very lazy and terrible in the household, and women end up having to take all the household responsibilities in the relationships, like, not so much on purpose, but sort of ignorantly by some men that they date. And so you get this whole clashing as a result. And I think this might be an example of that, where she's seeing this part of their household life that she thinks is so important, both to her and to him, like to what makes their relationship on their household good, when in reality it's not. It's just something she's been brought up to sort of believe is meant to be normal.
She's been conditioned that way.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this is something very... I'm being super generalized here. And like...
Yeah, but it holds still.
Yeah, like I think it's one of those things that it was something that sort of made me become a bit more considerate about myself as a guy growing up and becoming more of a mature adult, that like, it's not that I'm so much...
Man, that push into the lake really reset you, didn't it?
Yeah, well, my sister pushed me in the lake. There's all these epiphanies when I was 5 years old. No, but like...
Hold on.
Like, I remember when I was in my early 20s, like I was definitely that kind of boyfriend that just didn't really bother to notice the fact, like, I'm going to say this right now as this is a growth thing for me.
I don't care you broke your elbow.
No, in my early 20s, it wasn't until my early 20s and a housemate pointed out to me that like, you should use a toilet brush after you use the toilet. I never thought to think about the fact that I leave skid marks and I should clean them up after using the toilet. I didn't even realize, or like, they didn't even like, of course I should do that after using the toilet. What the fuck am I thinking? Like, I never...
Do not use this toilet.
But like, just things like that. I feel like there's a lot of cases where people are just like, they're more ignorant than they intended to be like, they come across as like just careless assholes, but it's more like they've just been told all their lives to prioritize other things, that they forget that there's these other factors that, you know, make them a valuable person in society and life in general. And like, you know,
Well, yeah, like it's like when my sister told me that no one's gonna marry me if I leave the toilet seat down when I piss.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
No one's gonna love you enough to do that. You're a problem in society.
Oh man, I I could go on a great tangent about all the things like my mother or some other people have said to me in life that like definitely like I definitely absorbed that, and that definitely caused me to have a lot of like not so much
God,
insecurities.
I need to fix myself.
Yeah, like no, things of like that I must do this, otherwise I will never be worth love. I will never be desirable unless I make this the priority every single time. Yeah, not healthy things to develop as a young child, but you know, your parents tried. That's
no one's
what matters.
gonna love you unless you don't sort out the table before you go to work. Okay? So you were stuck in that cycle.
Oh, I remember.
And it did not serve you well.
I would fold towels because I wanted to do the washing to be a bit, you know, to be responsible because I'm an adult and I do washing. But so many times they'd get up me for not doing the washing properly because I didn't fold the towels 3 ways and I only folded them 2 ways. And the way I did that made them look too flat and unprofessional looking in case we have guests over, and we never had guests over. Never.
But you never know.
You never know.
They could just pop up at the back of the house, which they thought was the front of the house.
It was unfortunate.
Because the front fell off.
It was unfortunate too because it was one of those things where it's like, I'm not, like I am a feminist, but it was a relationship that was really making me question just how much of a genuine feminist I was, because I was feeling bad about despising my partner for having these sort of wants and needs, and like I was like,
it's crazy.
It doesn't like it's still practical. It still all works the same. It's just not the way you aesthetically want it to be. And clearly, if it's that important to you, then maybe you should do it instead of me. But then that makes me look like a misogynistic a-hole because I'm leaving
Guys,
you
what
to do
have
it.
I done to
Is that
Jack?
weaponized incompetence? Oh my god! Oh, it was such a constant, like it was just a merry-go-round of this like constant thought process. Anyway. That's good. That could be a whole tangent of like life story with that relationship.
Episodes to get you to open up. We finally did it. We found the point of the Certified Assholes channel.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Other than that, though, that person was a very good egg. They were a very great person as to, you know, what they were doing with their life and who they were as a partner. We just clearly weren't compatible in that regard.
Absolutely. I get you. There's got to be some reasonable middle ground and things like that.
Oh yeah, and like yeah, I definitely was a partner who was just. I was still lazy in other aspects. I'm gonna say like I don't want to make this come across as me dicking on some ex. Like, you know, most relationships don't
when
end.
she stumbles upon this.
Well, I know. I always find it like most relationships where people say that the other person was the entire problem. I feel that's not as common as people make it out to be. I feel like we all do something to either cause partners to become not as compatible as they used to be, or that we ourselves actually sort of, you know, end up not being as good as we wanted to be in the first place, you know. Like,
we also obfuscate our, you know, part in the wrongs of those relationships as well.
Yeah,
because we can't see it from their perspective.
Yes,
so we don't know just how damaging our actions were from their side. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering like, oh my god, he's. Am I going to derail him at some point with my little jokes? Because you're like, no, always like women when they're brought up, it's their parents saying, this is your role in the household to do this, that, and the other. And then it's men. And then men have this one where it's like, well, you have different responsibilities to do this. And I was going to be like, well, my mom grew up. The only thing she told me when I was growing up was, son, I'm no longer in love with your father anymore. You were going so long, I was just like, I can't fit this in anymore. Anyway, how's your Tuesday night?
Oh my god. Well, you know, because my mum declaring my parents getting a divorce was pretty much the same thing. Though, like, she literally just walked up to me as I was sitting in the dining room table and just be like, Jack, because your father's too much of a coward to tell you directly, she and I are getting a divorce.
Oh, too much a coward to tell you directly. Yo, what the fuck?
Because we spent the whole day prior, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before, but we spent the whole day prior literally going out as family. So my sister, my mom, my dad, and I, literally like that weekend, we went out for a little drive around the place, checking out the space, like the local beaches. We went and got fish and chips together, sat up by the beach eating fish and chips. Yeah. And I was saying to my parents, I said to everyone there,
best weekend ever.
I said to my mom and dad and my sister, I was like, this is nice. This is just like when I was a kid. It's really like nostalgic. We should really do this more as a family. And that afternoon.
Hold up. Your mom's looking at your dad just like death staring. He's
well,
like,
here's the thing.
We should do this more.
They were all so silent when I said that. And I was just like, eating chips, eating fish and chips.
That one really landed with them. That was a really solid moment for them.
Like, it really is testament to how much of the relationship was a misery for my mom and dad when their response to that was them to be silent and to stare off in the distance. And for me to think that was the norm.
Man, that was a crazy good response.
Just a normal reaction from my parents about them loving each other.
What a terrific audience. Thank you. What a terrific audience.
It still always makes me laugh. As much as I cried and felt very like horrified and all that kind of stuff at the time, it was very funny. It's always funny to look back on and just be like, that just like huge 180.
It's just been like, actually,
yeah,
I was wrong. Your dad looked at you and he's like, "Are you sure?"
Oh God.
No, the parents' breakup story for mine was dad had a habit of going to the pub a lot, and
oh no,
he put ribs in the oven, and he did this a lot. This was just the final time he did this. He put ribs in the oven, went to the pub. Mum came home before he came home, and the ribs were just burnt. And he still came home from the pub, and he served the burnt ribs to us for dinner. And on all the sides that came with it as well. And I remember it. I remember being there, and Mum loves to tell the story every now and then. And she just like, everyone's sitting around the table, and she looks down at the burnt ribs, and she just looks at him, and she's like, "I want a divorce." I was like, "Yep, that'll do it." Just in front of all of us, and I was like, that night did not go well. That was,
oh wow!
Don't burn your ribs, guys. That's don't do that. That is a bad idea to burn the ribs and then still serve them for dinner afterwards.
Look, I'm genuinely kind of scared if my mother ever comes across these and decides to watch them and hears about this part of the story, because like, I can't genuinely. We just on a tangent about our parents divorcing. Hey, we're just two white people.
G'day, guys.
Welcome
to
about
the
the parents
end
who
of the
divorced.
episode.
Fun fact: in my drama class in high school at the time, this was like year 12, final year. It was about 13 of us students. About 10 of us were white Caucasian. The rest of us were one was Aboriginal, one was Papua New Guinea, the other was Japanese. Of all of us, only the white kids were the ones who had parents who were all divorced. Everyone who was white in that class had divorced
stereotypes.
Parents.
Yes.
White people hate each other.
That's it.
No, but like, yeah, I can't really think of what exactly inspired the divorce in my parents, because anytime my mum's gone on a rant about my dad and despising him, because that's her entire personality for some reason in our phone calls. No. Well, like, she just contradicted herself every month or so. It would sort of change the reasoning and like things she didn't like about him, or that she didn't do enough of or did too much of. It like there were always the exact same things. It was like, oh wait, so he did too much of this. Oh, but he never did enough of this. And yeah, I don't want to go into detail because I feel it's a bit private, but it's just weird.
People be changing goalposts.
Yeah, but look, I'll be honest. I reckon it was actually me and my sister's fault for the divorce partially, because I remember many times despising the stuff Dad would cook for dinner, and it was very interesting looking things that, like, looking back on, they're like, oh, that's actually quite interesting and nice thing to have made for dinner. And Dad actually cooked nice-ish things. I mean, they were almost always just like McDonald's level looking like patties and things like that, but it was like nice looking patties at least. I don't know. I just think about a lot of things where I'm like, I don't blame my dad at all for feeling extremely alienated by his own family. Because, look, to be fair, again, getting a bit too much detail here, but
that's fine.
My mum definitely sort of poisoned the water hole in terms of my perspective of my father, which I wouldn't realize until I'm much older that like,
You're like,
oh,
wait a second.
yeah,
Upon
actually,
reading this Reddit post,
yeah,
hold up.
My dad actually is an empathetic asshole. He's actually just
He was
felt
trying.
very distanced because I remember one time I was trying to play
my
saxophone.
God.
I'm sorry, tangent.
There's so
you
much
can
going
leave
on
the video if
here.
you want. It's still interesting to me
No,
to talk
Jack,
about.
They're staying around for this.
They got popcorn ready. They paused the video,
Actually are.
grab popcorn, and they're just
they
like,
will tell you in the
"Whoa."
comments. They're like, no, we were loving this.
Yeah, just-
we love listening to the family lore.
If anyone who's watching this is a dad and you've come across this situation, I want you to understand that, like, in 10 years' time, your kid's gonna absolutely appreciate you for still sticking around. But I was trying to practice my saxophone. I was frustrated at myself for not being able to do this run of the saxophone right. Not in my defense, I hardly practiced at all, and then I would sulk and complain to my parents about why I suck at the saxophone compared to the other people. I was that kid, you know? Yeah, the kid who put no effort into things and then wondered why he wasn't as good as everyone else. Anyway. God, I was
We're gonna
such
have
a
to wrap
sulky
this up
shit.
soon. It is
Yeah, sorry.
getting late.
Okay, anyway, my dad walked by
Sorry.
the room. As he's seeing me, like, mess with the saxophone, I'm just like, because I was getting frustrated. I was just making random noises. And he's like, hey, that sounded pretty good. And I immediately responded to him being like, with this face, just like, no, it wasn't. I was just playing random notes. It's not even a good tune. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was like 8 or 9 at the time too. And it's just like, you can understand why my dad just sort of distanced from being nothing more than just the worker for the house.
Oh,
It was-
sorry for trying.
I know, right? Sorry for trying to connect to you, son. Like, god damn.
Jack.
I was bad.
Yeah, I get it.
I was an a-hole.
Hey,
No,
man,
it's-
we've all been there.
oh yeah, yeah.
That's a rough one.
I'm still, we're still close. I'm still in touch with him. He still, still loves me as a son. I still love him as a father and that kind of shit. You know, that was kids. But anyway, that's my sharing story
Hell
time.
yeah.
And that's why I'm no longer an alcoholic.
Much like that guy from the other story.
Yeah.
He's now 1 day sober.
Yeah, that was a joke. I'm not actually an alcoholic, but yeah.
He will be in a future episode, apparently.
Yeah. I'm going to bring chili wine.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've never tried it before. We'll see if it's good or if it's just a facade.
All right. Well, we'll cap the episode off there then.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, guys. A very, very long one today.
Ooh,
Over
okay,
2 hours.
maybe cut down the fluff of me ranting a
No,
lot
we're
of it.
keeping it in there. Hell yeah. And then I'm sending it to your family.
All right, we're going to end on me strangling Mark.
Good night.